guys, so it's still boiling in my room, which I think is kind of my fault because of my laptop running, but oh well, I'll deal somehow. My hair is just a frizz fest today. I don't know what's going on with my hair. It looks nice, but it's like no control. It's just going poof all over the place and I can't stop it. Anyway, so NaNoWriMo's over. I finished. I reached my goal of 25,000 words, which I know isn't a huge goal for NaNoWriMo, in fairness, because the normal NaNoWriMo is 50,000. Yeah, and I wrote 25,000, and I'm pathetic, shush. The last time I tried to do a full NaNoWriMo, I stopped at like 43,000, and that was it. I didn't finish it, and yeah. I find it easier to do shorter stuff. I mean, it was the second half of my story, and it's still not finished. The story itself still isn't finished, and it probably won't get finished until next year now, because I'm not going to do it until next Camp NaNoWriMo. I don't know, it might get finished in April if I do that one, but then there's exams, and, well, not exams, I don't have exams, but I'm rambling. Anyway, with NaNoWriMo over, I had a lot more time, because I'm not writing constantly. I mean, I should still be writing it, but I don't. That's why I do NaNoWriMo with this one, because no matter what, I can't give myself the motivation unless I'm doing something important, which I class NaNoWriMo as. So I have more time now, because I'm not writing it, and I have nothing to do. I mean, there's plenty I could be doing, but I just don't do it. I should be I do write my other fanfictions, but they don't take up half as much time as my NaNoWriMo did, because it took me so long to be able to write just 800 words a day. It was so hard to write, because I got major writer's block, and I'd be sat there just sort of staring at the blank page on my computer, just sort of thinking, what do I even write? I don't know. So that brings me neatly on to my point about this video, is I get writer's block in real life. I get normal writer's block, which is actual writer's block, and then I get writer's block in real life. So I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. I don't know what I'm going to write in my story. I don't know what to do with my life. I don't know what to do. I'm sat there and I'm like, what do I do? What do I write? I'm so confused. And in order to sort of explain this, writer's block is where you're sitting there, you're staring at your page, and you're just like, there's loads of things I could do with this, but I can't find the words to actually write what could happen. You might know where you want this story to go. I knew during my writer's block phase of NaNoWriMo, which is usually the last week, which is horrible, because you're like, I need to finish this, but I've got writer's block, like, all up in my head, and it's, ugh. But you know where you want to go. I knew where I wanted to go with the story. I knew what I wanted to do next. I knew what I wanted to get to. But it was getting there that was the problem. I was trying to kind of write down what was going on in that sort of bit before the big change, which was what I was aiming to get to. And honestly, it's probably going to take me an entire other Camp NaNoWriMo to be able to write this, because I've only just got to the, like, this really juicy part of the story, and I've just finished 30 years. So I'm gonna need another one. But I was completely stuck with how to get to this juicy bit that I have so much to write about. I just sort of stopped. And that's what I get in life. That's what I get at the minute, especially in summer. I'm sitting there, and there's so many things I could do. I made a list yesterday of things I could do with my time. Like, plan my videos, like, draw, write, read, paint. I can do so many different things. I could play a game. There's endless possibilities for me to do things, but I just didn't want to do any of them. And therefore I was bored. I was sat there and I was bored out of my brains. And I was just like thinking, Why? There's so many things that I could be doing that I could willingly do, but when I try and do one of them, I find my energy just is gone. And it's because most of it, in fact all of it except for the drawing, is on the computer. Playing a game is on the computer or a games console. Reading is usually on the computer because I read more fan fictions than I do actual books. I struggle with books. I start a book, I get really into it, and then halfway through I just stop for some reason. The last one I did that to was The Sign of Fall. I'm halfway through that and I've just stopped. I don't know why. I just really struggle with books. But this is I realised yesterday that technology, although it's opened up all these things we can do, like video games and watching movies and the internet, has literally stopped productivity. I mean, seriously, I'm getting really serious here, like, this is like a conspiracy theory type thing. Okay, no, it's not, but it's on the same vein. Without technology, I think I'd be a lot more productive. Maybe not in certain things, but I'd write more, because I'd have nothing else to do. I'd read more. I'd probably read books. If it wasn't for the computer, if I didn't have a computer, I would probably read books and actually manage to read them. I'd probably play the piano more. I mean, I already do, but I don't play it much. Because if I want to listen to nice music, all I have to do is search. All I have to do is type in a few words, and that's it. And there is this plethora, I don't know how to say that word, plethora? Or plethora? No, plethora. I think it's plethora. Anyway, there's this huge amount of music that I could just listen to. If I didn't have that, if I didn't, if I didn't have that, I would play the piano to make my own music. I do enjoy playing the piano, and I enjoy writing, I enjoy drawing, I enjoy reading. Because technology's there, it's stopping me doing all these things. I think there's no getting out of that. It's like there's a writer's block technique that I read about a week ago when I was in my writer's block phase, and it says get away from your computer. Just step away and just do something else. Read, draw, do whatever. And I was just like, but technology is my life. I don't have anything else. I ended up sat in the corner of my room with a notepad and I wrote this random one-shot off the top of my head. Completely full of angst. I have actually posted it. Some of my followers have probably read it and are probably screaming in pain right now. But it did get me out of my rut. It made me feel a lot better. So yesterday, I randomly wrote a one-shot, which was completely nuts. I don't even know why I wrote a one-shot like that. It was just completely crazy, and I'm never publishing it. Because it's I don't even know. I just don't know where it came from. I was just sitting there, I read it back, and I was just like, number one, this isn't even in my normal writing style. It's just, like, my writing style from, like, 5 years ago, which is complete and utter shit. And number two, how did it even... I don't even know how this idea formed in my head. I think it was because of this sort of theme that's been going in one of my other fanfictions, but I was just like... Why do that? But yeah, back onto topic. I blame technology for everything, for my existential crises. I can't live without technology. I can't. I don't know why. I think what I'm going to have to do one day is I'm just going to have to get rid of all technology. Literally. It's just... I need to learn to live without this stuff. I mean, seriously, I saw this post on Facebook that said if you were given $3 million, not as much in pounds, but whatever. If you were given $3 million to live without internet or computer or television, anything like that, for 3 months, would you do it? I don't know if I could. And that scares me, because it's terrifying to think how dependent on technology we've become. I mean, my response to that was, do I get music and an endless supply of writing and drawing materials? At which point I could possibly survive, maybe. I'll probably have books and all that sort of thing. But a part of this obsession with technology is music. Music is my absolute life. I can't deal with silence. I cannot deal with silence. I am one of those people who I have to have music playing. And people always complain because I've got headphones in all the time. But it's because I have to have that. I have to have it. I can't deal with silence. If my parents don't have the radio on in the car, I'm just sat there and I'm like, iPod, where are you? I need that. I don't know what I need from it, but I just need it. It's really concerning me. I don't know. I should have been born in another era, I think. It's because I'm so used to it. Technology's been around my whole life. I mean, even when I was a kid, we had a computer downstairs that I could go on. I had my PlayStation. I played games a lot when I was a kid, and that's translated now into fanfiction and stuff like that. And just this constant need to be doing something, and I think that's the problem here. That's what causes these existential crises. I need to do something, and I don't feel like I am doing something, so I get depressed about it, and I'm sat there and I'm contemplating my life, and I'm just like, what the hell? And this has turned into a massive rant. I'm so sorry. This has become a bit too serious. But yeah, so this kind of came on because obviously NaNoWriMo's done, and yeah, and having problems with existential crises again. I mean, I haven't had a problem of that since, before NaNoWriMo. Once NaNoWriMo started, I was just doing that, and I was fine, and now it's gone, and that semblance of always doing something is gone. And I think that's why I do well at uni, and that's kind of why I miss uni, because there's always something that needs to be done. Always. Even if I don't do it, there's always something that needs to be done. It's a weird, my brain is I don't understand my brain at all. No, I don't understand my brain. I don't think anybody could understand my brain, no matter how much they tried. So I'm going to leave it at that before I go off on another rant about uni and missing it and stuff. That can be next week, maybe. And I'm going to just leave you with that thought of, why do we need technology so much? When did this become so important? I mean, 20 years ago, it wouldn't have been that important, because we didn't have technology like we have today. No. Food for thought, guys. Yeah.